Cheer. You already know it's your boy Joe back at it again. TradingPhaseDotCom. Your boy's back and I done did it again one more time. Guys, what's up with you guys, man? Sorry, I've been super busy this past week. I haven't been able to create a lot of content for you guys, but I'm back. What's going on? Shout out to Miss Flames for being in here. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. For everybody that's popping up, as you guys come in, make sure you leave a comment, leave a like, just say hi at least. You know what I mean? If you got a topic, a question, anything that you guys want to talk about, let's do it. I'm in the mood today. And yeah, man, today we're going to be looking for some entry-level jobs to see what's going on in the market, see what's happening right now. Okay, there's a lot of opportunities. Okay, one thing that I want to say for anybody that's watching this, that's applying to jobs, all right, guys, listen, this is what you guys want to do. You want to stay consistent. Please do not stop applying to jobs just because the last one that you went for an interview, you didn't get. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of people that their mood is down, their energy is down. They're like, man, they're ready to give up. You have to understand that it's not about, getting that first interview and getting hired into your first job, right? It's about going in and being consistent, applying to every job that you qualify for and that you actually go in to those interviews, because one of them is going to give you a job. Okay, it's just a matter of time. A lot of you guys also to get to the last the last interview, and I'm hearing a lot from a lot of you guys that y'all get to the last interview and then it doesn't go the way how you planned it, but it's fine. Okay, understand that if you even made it to the last interview, right, in the final interview, understand that you're like a block away from getting your new job. Okay, so please keep your morale up, your energy up. Understand that this is the process. This is what we all went through. When I started applying to jobs, I didn't get hired till probably like my fourth, fifth interview. Okay, and that's normal. That's the norm. Okay, this isn't something that you be like, well, I'm qualified. I just gotta get a degree or get a job right away, right? It's the same concept as people that come in and be like, they get a degree and then they be like, well, soon as I get this degree, it's a guaranteed job. It doesn't work like that, okay? You have to understand there's multiple steps that you have to do. First of all, you gotta have the skills, okay? So that's going to allow you to go in and build your projects, build your portfolio, right? Which is going to catch the attention of the employers to say, okay, let's see if this guy's qualified. Then from there comes in the next stage. You got to go to the interviews. Once you go through the interviews, right? You go through the first stage, probably with a recruiter on the phone. Second stage, you probably meet somebody from the company. And then the third stage, you're going to meet with the actual team, the people that actually have a say-so and you actually getting the job, right? And on top of that, sometimes we got to add the human touch. Sometimes people got to like you, okay? And that's fine, right? If someone don't like me, it is what it is. Or maybe we didn't hit it off, right? It's like a date. It's crazy. It's like a date, right? But it is what it is. That doesn't mean that you just stop dating and stop putting yourself out there. You be like, all right, cool. I got the next one. You get what I'm saying? It is what it is. Okay. Shout out to everybody that's in here. We're about to get into the jobs. I see some questions, right? Shout out to Zerantus, Cesar Jaramillo, Matias Ames says, Joe, how's the job market for email developers? I'm new, seeing frequent jobs coming through in the entry-level job website. Yes. Yeah, definitely go check out entryleveljobs.ai. We post a lot of good jobs in there that we find, a lot of good opportunities, especially for beginners and people who are trying to get in. So definitely check that out. And yeah, man, we're about to begin. Shout out to Billy Rodriguez. What's going on, Billy? I haven't seen you in a minute, bro. I hope you're doing good. I hope everything is going up to plan and you're killing them out there, okay? Let me see. Anthony K says, what up? What up from San Diego? All right, cool. So let's get into it, right? Let's just start. So what I'm going to do is today, I'm going to start with the simple stuff. I'm going to go in. I just want to see what just got listed today, okay? I want to know what type of jobs got listed that have to do with some type of web development, okay? So let's go in. We're going to choose date so it can show us basically the one that just got listed right now. Okay, so let's see what's going on with this. Web graphics developer. Let me open this up in a new window, new tab. Okay, so this is, and you see sometimes companies that don't even know what they need. Web graphics developer. Okay, so they're using Angular, they're using some Jade, right? This is like for Node.js, Google Analytics, Fable tracking, pixels, okay, attention to detail, create custom web store themes based on eGalaxy Web Store framework. Okay, interesting. All right, so they're looking for somebody that actually knows Angular. So cool, seems pretty cool. All right, let me see. Web marketing manager. Sometimes, again, I always tell you guys, don't get scared about the titles. Okay, look at the description, look at what the role is. Just because you are quote unquote a front end developer, email developer, doesn't mean that you're stuck to just doing that. Understand that if you can go in and work for a company doing any type of web development or working on the web in any capacity, then that's a win. Okay, what you care about is getting a bag. All right. All of these positions are connected to web development. Okay, so in here, basically, this is a position, right? Content management, manage content CMS, right? Design, provide front end HTML coding. So again, this is like basic stuff. This is why you want to pay attention to these type of jobs, because you'll be surprised how many jobs you actually qualify for. Once you have the skills, you should be good. All right. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm supposed to have a drink here. Yeah, I think I left it in the kitchen. Just give me 1 second. Oh, got it. Yeah, I need something to drink, man. I was recording a whole bunch of videos for the Profitable Developer course. By the way, for anybody that's watching right now, guys, we have a 50% off summer sale, okay? Right now, you could come in, click on the link in the description, get that 50% off of CodingPhase.com, the Diamond membership, and the Profitable Developer course. So go check that out. And yeah, like I was saying, like I just did a whole bunch of videos for the Profitable Developer section for software as a service. If you're interested in that, go check it out. I'm telling you guys, this is my best course that I've done ever, because I'm literally giving you guys the game on how to make money with the skills that you have. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner or somebody that already has a job, right? This is something that you want to learn because it's a process. Again, when you go in and you plant a seed, you're going to see fruits. Okay, if you don't plant the seed, you're not gonna see no fruits. Okay, I've seen so many people that come in, they got a job, and then they're like, okay, cool, I got a job, and then one day they pull the rug under them, and then now they're scrambling to find a job, and instead they should have planted a seed 6 months ago, and they would have had some consistent income coming in on the side. You know, getting a $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 extra on the side, you know, on a monthly basis. It's a blessing. Trust me. It just gives you a freedom that you didn't have before. Okay. So yeah, definitely check out the links in the description. All right. So let's continue with this. Let's see what else is out here. Okay. We're looking at the ones that just got listed. All right. Of course, we got React developer, right? If you have experience, definitely go for it. I could tell you, you know, all of the React positions right now are very difficult to get. That's what everyone else is applying to. So if you are a beginner, somebody trying to get into the game, make your life easy. Okay, go for the jobs that you're almost guaranteed to get the job. Okay, that you're super qualified for. Sometimes it's better to be a big fish in a small pond than a big fish in a big ass pond where you know what I'm saying? Where no matter how big you are, you still don't make make no waves. You get what I'm saying? Okay, so let's see in here. Website performance manager and Team Lima. Let's see what's going on with this. Okay. Nah, this is more like SEO. If you have a background in SEO or work with WordPress, that might be a good opportunity. But for the majority of you guys, I don't think that will be good. SEO content marketing specialist. Again, this is another one for SEO. Again, depending on the pay rate, right? it could be good, right? Depending on what they're asking for. So in here, 5 Sync Studios, remote, $24 to $30 an hour. This is basically performing technical on-page local SEO audits. Okay, this is like very simple stuff. Again, you're just managing a website. They're using WordPress. They're using HTML, CSS. Okay, a lot of the stuff in here is stuff that you could literally learn in a weekend. Okay, so if you have the skills as a web developer, you could still apply to this type of roles, and you will still get a call. All right. Now, when they ask you, hey, do you know anything about SEO? This is where you go in and you prepare yourself. You go in and you search about SEO best practices, right? And even some tutorials that you might see here on YouTube will be a good starting point. SEO is very simple. It's just basically just managing a website, making sure that it's targeting the right keywords, targeting the right, the right type of content, right? And just making sure that it's ranking. And if, like, let's say, for example, you're on your Google Search Console or you're using SEMrush or Href, and it tells you, hey, there's a broken link on this website, or there's a 301 redirect that's not set up properly. Like, you go in and you fix that. That's it. You're not doing a lot of stuff. All right. Very straightforward. Okay. We have a front end developer role. All right. Let's see. Okay. We're seeking a skilled front end developer, HTML, CSS, implement RESTful APIs. Okay. Experience server side languages such as C Sharp, PHP is a plus. Okay, they always want to get a deal. You coming in as a front end developer, but if you could do something in the back end, we ain't gonna say no. Okay. Shout out to Adu Reyes. Let me see. Billy Rodriguez says, you was in the profitable developer meeting. I didn't see you, bro. I didn't see you in there, man. You gotta come through. I didn't see you. Gotta talk to me, Billy. All right, cool. Let me see who else we got in here. Again, I'm looking for jobs, and I'm also answering questions. If you got a topic, you got a question, anything that you might have on the comment section, please leave it, guys. I will get back to you. All right. Let me see. Digital marketer. All right. We have one over here. Let's see what's going on with this. Okay. Create, manage digital marketing campaigns. Develop, implement SEO strategies, proficiency HTML, CSS, SQL. Okay, knowledge of advertising strategies, e-commerce. Okay, so again, this is a mixture between marketing and also to web development. I don't know about this pay here, $5.95 per year. That sounds crazy. There's some crackhead prices, but let me see what else we got in here. All right, so recently, let's see, Shopify developer. Okay, Vegamore launched 2016, industry leader on hair and scalp. Okay, so they're looking for a senior full stack developer for Shopify development. Okay, there's not that many out there. There's not like, a bunch of senior level Shopify developers, right? So this might be a good opportunity for those of you guys that have the skills, have gone through the Shopify development course. There's a lot of opportunities with Shopify. As you can see, there's a lot of room to grow. Of course, they're going to probably ask for more experience. If they offering anything above $100,000, always remember this, guys. They're going to be asking for experience. They're going to want to see that you've actually done this in another company. And then from there, you can actually go in and get to grow into a position like this. Okay, like it just takes time, right? It takes time, but there's definitely other Shopify developer positions that are not in the $100,000 range. They're in the 75 to 95 range, which is where you want to go in and spend most of your time applying to. Okay, so let's see in here, campaign specialist. Let's see what's going on with this. Okay, execute end-to-end. Okay, coding, dynamic, personalized emails. Okay, cool. So this is one that is basically for email developer. Okay, again, don't get scared with the titles. right? You might not see that says email developer, but this is what it means, okay? So again, another position there, 66 to 75,000. Like I said, guys, if you have questions, any topics, leave them in the chat, okay? That's the way how we bring the energy up, all right? Don't leave me out here by myself. I do this live streams for you guys. So again, if you have topics, a specific job you want me to search for, put it in the chat. I will get to you, and from there we will continue the conversation. Okay, junior front end developer, remote, $65,000 a year. Okay, let's see in here, tuition. They'll pay for your tuition. Okay, support and development interfaces, React and Symfony, Twig. Okay, so this is a PHP, you know, requirement. Now, basically, this is just like, okay, at least a year experience with front end, including personal projects, internships, freelance. All right, so this is not bad at all. Okay, basic awareness of accessibility, semantic familiarity with version control systems, problem solving. Okay, okay, build tools, 100% remote, flexible hours, 28 days of paid time, support professional courses and training. So they're giving you the courses. This is great. Okay, there's a great opportunity for you guys. If you have a front end background, if you already know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right? Definitely go in and apply to this type of role. It seems like a good company trying to take care of their employees. Yeah, I got some water bottles in here, but I also wanted to get a Sprite Zero, man. I need a little something sweet. Get my energy up. Today I actually had to go in and drop off my wife in the airport like at 3 o'clock in the morning. It kind of threw me off. So I haven't gotten that much sleep. So, a little bit of something sweet would just keep me up a little bit. Okay, let me see. Joe, as someone who has been in the industry for a long time, do you see email development transitioning out of the same old way it's been for years? For example, inline CSS, etc. Good question, Anthony. Right. So I'll bring up the question again one more time. So Anthony says, Joe, as someone who has been in the industry for a long time, do you see email development transitioning out of the same old way it's been for years? For example, inline CSS, etc. Okay. Well, it's already happening, right? There's some companies that have already like upgraded the systems where they allow inside of the emails to receive certain tags that maybe something like Microsoft Outlook doesn't allow you to add. And I've seen this situation like this, even with like Gmail. I've seen people go in and create emails with divs. But it all depends on who are you targeting. So there's companies that they need to target every type of email client that's out there. Now, if I'm a company that I know all of my audience is, I don't know, anywhere from 14 till 25 years old, I know they're using a modern, a modern browser, a modern email client. So I might not go in and say, hey, I'm going to target everything from Microsoft Outlook till now, from like 2000 and something till now, right? We're not going to do that. We're just going to target, let's say, Gmail, right? The Gmail app on iOS, Gmail app on Android, and maybe target, Gmail and maybe a couple of Proton, like let's say the Proton email. And that's it. We know that's our targeted audience. So some companies might consider to just go in and not waste that much time trying to make sure it looks good in every type of system, but just those 3 or 4 different clients. Excuse me. So at the end of the day, like, yes, there are some changes, right? There's going to be changes, but the majority of companies, they're still going to target every type of email service provider that's out there. They're just going to target every single client, okay? Just because it's just easier to just cover everything. Like, let's say if it's a company that works with healthcare systems, right? Like the healthcare industry. Guess what? There might be some old person still using Microsoft Outlook. There might be some person still opening up a Windows Vista, right? There might be some hospitals or, doctor's office still using, Windows XP somewhere. And if they need to send out emails to, let's say, doctors, nurses, right, um, secretary, whatever, the person that's waiting in the front, right, um, they still got to go in and receive those emails. So they're just gonna go in and say, we're gonna target every single email client, and gonna make sure that it looks good everywhere. If you build emails with HTML tables, it's just gonna look good in every single situation. Okay, it's just like a safe way to do it, because almost every single browser and email client goes in and reads the HTML tables exactly how you put it. Okay, of course, with Microsoft Outlook, you might have to do things like ghost tables, but other than that, like, it works. It's an old way of doing things, right? That's how I actually learned how to build websites. The first websites that I built back in the days, the way how we used to like lay everything out, right? Back in the days when I made my first Dragon Ball Z website, it was with HTML tables, okay? And everything was in line. I don't even believe that when I started, like, CSS, like with a file by itself, was like a big thing. It's like everyone was just using CSS on the HTML file. So yeah, and that just works, because the thing about web development is, like, when new technologies and new things come out, right? It's not like they're gonna work for every other previous version. They work from that moment on. Okay, that's like when you search for, like, JavaScript, and like new versions of JavaScript and new features that they get added. A lot of times in older browsers, you can't use those features. You have to go in and have some type of way to, like, pretty much like be able to be read by those browsers. Like, you have a fallback code. Okay, so I'll give you a great example. Let me see. JavaScript ES6. Like, I remember when JavaScript ES6 came out, um, it was like something that a lot of people was like, wait, we got to learn a new version of JavaScript, right? And let me search the browser support. Let me see where's the website that has that. There's a website that has this. Okay, cool. So here you go, right? So browser support for JavaScript APIs. Okay, there's some browsers that just don't have it. Now doesn't even have every single thing that's out there. So this is showing you, like, for different ones, right? But as you can see, there's a lot of things that say no. Okay, and different versions of different browsers that they're just not gonna support it. Okay, like, look at this, right? And this is just JavaScript. So with email, it's the same concept. There's gonna be versions of, like, let's say a new Gmail, a version that they release, that yeah, you could go in and just create a div, and you could just go in and set everything up, the same way how you would do a website. But what happens to someone who has an older version, you know, or maybe like it's a global company and they gotta send emails to, I don't know, to Zimbabwe, to India, or something like that. And now somebody's walking around with an Android phone, the first Android phone, or they're walking around with a Galaxy 2. Okay, they don't have the latest versions, right? So they still gonna target those old versions and the old ways of doing emails. I know it's annoying sometimes to do tables, but the good thing is that now we live in an age of AI. Okay, I used to hate doing emails, like the HTML tables, because it's so repetitive. Like, you're going one table inside of another table to making sure that that table is centered, or or like you're building a column that's inside of another column that's another column to lay something in a specific area, and so it could look good in every single situation. And it's annoying. But the good thing is that now you have AI. You also have a lot of different frameworks that you can use, like MJML, that just make your life easier. I believe there's one that's even for Tailwind CSS. There's another one that is for React, that just makes your life easy to work with HTML emails. Now, you do need to know how to do the emails by hand, because it's just gonna be necessary. You know, you could work at a company where they have a bunch of different templates and they just want to do a couple of changes on one specific thing. And if you don't know how to do it, then now you're there sucking on your thumb. Like, how do I do this thing? Now I got to look for a course. Now I got to go look for a tutorial. I got to look for documentation. I got to do this and that because you never really learned the fundamentals. Okay, you rely too much on the frameworks. You actually need to know how to do this. This is why when someone comes to me and they're saying, hey, Joe, I want to learn email development, what I do is I don't start you off from the frameworks. I start you off from learning how to do it with just HTML tables. Okay. And then from there, once you're able to do that, then we go into the frameworks. And now with the new course that we're about to drop now at the end of this month, we're going to go in and show you how to go in and build the HTML email with AI. Super simple. What takes you 8 hours to do, now you're going to be able to do it in 25 to 30 minutes at the most. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's where we at right now. But if you don't know how to use, these things or even know how to build it by hand, you can't ask the right questions. You know, I had a student, shout out to the student, right? I'm not going to say his name. You know who he is. On the accountability meeting on Monday, right? He asked me a question about Cursor AI, right? Because I told him, hey, you know, you have to use like AI nowadays. It's going to be much easier for you to just, you know, be able to ask questions and be able to see like where your bugs, where's your problems that you're having. Maybe it could help you out, teach you a couple of things too that you didn't know about, right? So using AI right now is a blessing that we have. And again, you could use it as an assistant where if like, let's say you're taking a course, for example, TradingPhaseDotCom, let's say you need to hone down on one specific topic. Now you don't have to wait for me to go in and answer your email. You could say, let me go in and figure this part out because I want to learn this specific part and I just need a little more help. So now you could go in with the AI and ask the questions and be like, how does this work? Why this thing doesn't work in my website? Can you look through my code? Like you could have those conversations. Now, once a situation that he was having was a problem with creating responsive websites, right? And one thing that I noticed was that the problems he was having with the AI really comes down to the fact that he don't know how to do the actual thing, right? Which is how to work with CSS media queries and how to organize, also too, how to organize your HTML properly. Sometimes if you don't organize your HTML properly, right? Even the AI, for example, Cursor AI, right? It's going to go through your code and it's going to be like, oh, let me try to fix this. But if you did something crazy, like you use positioning like everywhere, and it's like, I'm putting this here, I'm putting this over here, I'm putting this over here, instead of using CSS Grid, CSS Flexbox, and just organizing your code in a certain way where it's easier for the AI to consume and understand what you're doing there, then it's still going to have some issues. Like the AI is not perfect. So you actually need to know how to do the thing that you want the AI to do so you could explain it to it. And again, that's just something that I'm noticing from a lot of people. It's not the issue that is just for him. It's a lot of people that's having that issue. It's like sometimes you want to ask the AI to help you build something, but it's like if you don't know how to do it, you actually not even asking the questions properly. Also, too, you're giving it too much scope. If I want to go in and make something responsive, I'm not going to tell the AI, hey, could you make this app responsive? That's too broad. It could start doing random things that I don't want it to do. So what I would do is I would go section by section and say, hey, this section here is supposed to be responsive. It's supposed to have a mobile menu, right? Or, hey, this section here, which is 3 columns, is supposed to stack up, right? The left column on the top, the middle column at the middle, and then the right column at the bottom, right? And it's supposed to stack up. And I will give it that information, and the AI will build it exactly how I wanted it. But if you don't know how to do this and the steps for it, then that's where it's going to be a little bit difficult. That's why with emails, you got to learn the foundation before you even start doing it with AI, because the AI is just going to build you some random code if you don't really know how to do it. So yeah, Anthony Kate, there's going to be changes. There's going to be changes coming to the industry. But again, if it's a company that has to go in and send out emails for every type of customer, right? They're going to use tables. it's the easiest thing for them to just make sure that everything works in every single email client. Xavier Lowe says, what's your thoughts about CMS development with WordPress or Drupal? Well, I mean, that's like the original CMS, right? So you have WordPress, you have Drupal. They're both from the same era. We're talking about early 2000s, okay? Basically, all the different CMS systems that's out here, they're based on WordPress, on what WordPress did. So what do I think about it? I think it's great. It's a great opportunity to get started working with different clients. Sometimes you're working with a company that might be a brand, right? So there's opportunity to grow. Don't let nobody tell you. Like, I remember years ago, there was a YouTuber here. That dude was a clown, right? I'm not gonna say his name, but he was a clown. He was like, yeah, man, if you learn WordPress, bro, you're basically capped out. That's as much as you're gonna ever become. And that's as far as you're gonna get. And it was bullshit. It's always been bullshit. Don't listen to people that tell you that. When you're doing web development, what companies care about is that you have the skills. And then as you grow as a developer, they care more about your experience than even just your skill. You get what I'm saying? So, for example, someone might come in and become a web developer, and the first job might be working at a small agency. This is the story of the majority of people that you're going to meet in the industry. Not everyone is like a poppy mommy kid going to an Ivy League school that ends up in Microsoft doing an internship, and then now they work at Google. That's not the facts. That's not for everybody, okay? A lot of the people that have jobs in the industry, they start from the bottom. They build themselves up. We don't go to 4-year school. We don't go to a Ivy League school, right? But we build ourselves up. We do the same concept of like, hey, I got to put in 2 years, right? Maybe it's not 4 years, but I got to put in 2 years getting, $65,000, $85,000 to be able to make that 100,000. And that's fine, right? But to me personally, I think it's better than a lot of the guys that go to college and then end up with a degree and can't find a job because they have no experience, right? And they were told that they needed to get $100,000 job because guess what? They got $200,000 debt of school loans, right? It makes sense for them to try to get those jobs. But for you, hey, the most you spend, like right now, for example, again, bringing it to TradingPhaseDotCom, right? You go to TradingPhaseDotCom, the most you're gonna spend on a yearly subscription is like $182, and you'll get to the same place that this guy went and literally, spend $200,000 in school. Okay, so definitely, there's opportunities there for growth with WordPress and Drupal, but just understand it is a stepping stone. Now, if you want to become like someone who does like WordPress development, you could take it as far as you want, okay? Because you could go in and get a $200,000 job as a WordPress developer. And there's people that they don't believe that. They be like, nah, this is not possible, man. There's no way that you could do this, okay? So as you can see here, Athena AG, 100,000, 130,000. We just search for WordPress, okay? And you're going to see that in here they're working with WordPress, right? WordPress and WooCommerce. Guess what? That right there is $100 and something thousand job. And I've seen jobs that even go to 200,000 as a WordPress developer. And you might say, how do they do it? Okay, it's very simple. You actually got to have the skills. You got to have experience. Okay, so again, it all depends on where you work at and how much experience you have. And like, if you want to go that route, there's a guy, I forgot his name. Damn, I wish I could remember. It's a guy that I follow. He's a WordPress developer here in Tampa, Florida. And he actually, he works with a bunch of government agencies. And all he does is WordPress. And I think he's making like $180,000 a year. So you could take it as far as you want, right? Most of his careers, they're a stepping stone, this career jobs, right? Like WordPress, email development. You can go as far as you want with it, okay? If you have 4 or 5 years as an email developer, right? You could be making 150, 180, 200, right? But remember, it's 5 years. You got experience. You've been doing this for a while. You've worked at this agency. You worked for this company. Now you work for this other company. And then now you go into the big boys. Amazon hiring for email developers, right? So this idea of like WordPress, Drupal, email development, this and that, CMS, like there's opportunities there. It's just how much, like what type of job you want to do. Me personally, like I rather go in and grow as a full stack developer, right? So I will go in, do email, right? Learn front end development, then from there learn back end, then from there maybe learn more about like a bigger, higher paid CMS system. Like let's say I started as a WordPress developer at a small agency. That's what I would do. I would say, okay, I'm a WordPress developer. Then I will focus on like learning React, learning how to build applications with JavaScript framework. Then from there, jumping into the world of like maybe back end. Now working with Shopify will be like my transition to the next level, because now I'll be making $100-something as a Shopify developer. But all of those small jobs allow me to get that $100,000 job. You know what I'm saying? So it's a stepping stone. Okay. Now, if you want to stay with WordPress, you could stay there too. It's up to you. It's whatever makes you happy. And pays your bills. A lot of times people get crazy on this idea that we gotta get some a pat in the back. We gotta get some badges on our shoulders that, hey, I work for XYZ.com. Like, you don't need that. If you're able to take care of your family, you got money in your pocket, you living good, you got a big ass house, you got your dream car, and you got a baddie next to you, you good. You don't need nothing else. Because there's guys that right now, they work at some of these big companies and they'll make $300,000, but they miserable. Okay. I just seen a video for some girl. I forgot her name. It's a young, pretty Asian girl. Shout out to her, man. Shout out to the baddies that work as developers, man. There's a couple of baddies that be like, damn, shit. When I started, it was nothing but but old ladies from the 80s. Now, yeah, you might go into the job and be like, oh shoot, oh, Cynthia's in here. What's going on, Cynthia? Yo, can you help me out? You know what I mean? Start making conversation. Nah, I'm joking. You don't want to be that creep, right? But it's good to see girls in here and a couple of baddies in the game now, I'm telling you, because when I came in, I remember just seeing old ladies from the 80s that used to do maybe IT to then going in and jumping into web development. And I'm like, yo, it's like, this lady is mad old. I mean, they've been doing this shit since like, what was it, Netscape or so yeah, let me see. This is girl. I quit Amazon software engineer. This is, I just seen her video the other day. Damn, what's her name? There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that they quit Amazon. Amazon, it's a sweatshop. Okay. My last week as a software engineer at Amazon. Okay. Damn, there's a couple of you. Look at this. Why I won't return to big tech. I quit Amazon after 2 months. Okay. Yes, I think it's this one, Jen Cho.
I wanted my degree in computer science.
Yeah, shout out to her, man. You know what I mean? You know me, I gotta type.
Guys,
But yeah, so shout out to her. She basically broke it down in here. She's like, hey man, I'm 28. She basically she feels like she gave her best years to Amazon, because what you do at Amazon is like you're constantly working. Shout out to Tech Rally, right? My boy Tech Rally, right? Even with Tech Rally and a couple of the other guys that I know that work at Amazon, every time I talk to them, it seems like they're working, right? Every time that I talk to them, I'm like, yo, it sounds like they're tired, right? Or like, even when you're working there, it's a never-ending cycle of like learning new skills, new things to try to keep up with what the company's throwing at you. And to be honest with you, like me personally, I don't know if I could do that. I don't think, any amount of money is worth that, for me, especially from all the experiences that I've seen from other people, the amount of work that they have to do, the amount of things that they have to be on top of, amount of meetings and this and that. Like, Maybe some people, they have a good situation, maybe a good team, but the majority of people that I see, they're like, yeah, Amazon is the worst place, bro. It's like it's a sweatshop. Okay. And it kind of sucks because Amazon is such a great product. Like I will take pride to work at Amazon because I love Amazon. I'll be honest, I love Amazon. But the fact that how they treat their employees is a big turnoff, you know? So yeah, sometimes you might say, well, do I want to be doing WordPress? Maybe you have a chill job. Maybe you work at an agency, a bunch of young people similar to you. And you know, y'all going out to drinks, you're hanging out. Yeah, you're making $80,000, right? It's not 200, but at the end of the day, you chilling. You got a good work environment. You know, I also seen another video from another guy talking about how he has 10 years in development, working at major companies, and he has never been able to find a friend. Now, this might sound crazy. You might be like, well, like, what do you mean you can't find a friend? Like, you can't find a colleague. You can't find most of the people in these companies. They have their own little silos. Like, they just show up to work. A lot of times it's like robots, right? Nobody really communicates with each other. Nobody really like hangs out, right? And if you do find that, that's like on a specific team that they're like that. Most of the people that's working in there, they're like to themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like you working with people, and that's how it's so easy to also, hate the job, because then now this guy that doesn't really care about you, doesn't know that you have, 2, 3 kids, you have a house, you have this and that. He don't care to go in and snitch on you and be like, well, James, he's taking a little bit, too long to do this and that. He don't care about it, instead of talking to you directly. Or you go in and you're on Amazon and you see a little Jen Cho and you be like, yo, how you doing, Jen? How's everything, ma? Now Jen goes in and goes to HR and says, well, I feel like I'm being sexually harassed here. He said, what up, ma? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't even have a cordial conversation, like a cool conversation, like you're outside, like a regular person, because they're just so institutionalized. It's like somebody who's in prison somewhere, like they're institutionalized. There's certain rules in jail. You know what I'm saying? It's the same concept of like these type of jobs. So, sometimes the job that you might look at, like a Drupal, email, a front-end developer at a small agency, right? A creative developer, right? Shopify developer. Those jobs are way more cooler, and you get to have more fun. You get to enjoy who you work with. Shout out to Henry Garrido. He came to TradingPhaseDotCom. By the way, 50% off. Go check out the links in the description. Like I said, everything is 50% off. Take advantage. It's a summer sale. Okay, you're not gonna see this again. All right. So take advantage. Now, Henry Garrido, he works for a pretty big company, that works with cars and stuff like that. He works as an email developer. He came to TradingPhaseDotCom, right? And he got a job opportunity at a top company. Now, he's an email developer, but from what he tells me, his team is chill. His team is cool. If he has a situation, he has a baby, maybe he has to take a little bit more time, he has to relax a little bit. Guess what? They're open to it. You know what I'm saying? They're like, hey, don't worry, you're going to get the work done regardless, right? In some of these other companies, you go into Amazon, it's not like that. You got to go in and put a 2-week notice. You got to put a 3-week notice of you want to take a day off type shit. It's like, and then you have all of the other people that everyone's just trying to climb to the top, where it's the Hunger Games. No one's there as your friend. No one's there like looking out for you. Your project managers is bullshitting you. Your colleagues is bullshitting you. You're not going to really find people that you could really mingle with and like connect with in those places. A lot of times that's how it is. People going into the office and leave out the office. And that's it. How you doing, Bob? How's those Knicks? That's it. That's as far as you're going to get. So definitely, I'd rather go into a smaller, medium-sized company, because I'll be honest with you guys, one thing that I learned over time is that money isn't everything. And also to your quality of life, to earn an extra $20,000, $30,000, it don't really make a difference, okay? And even an extra, $50,000. There's people that right now be like, man, I wish I could get into FANG. You're gonna be making like $125,000 with some bonuses on stocks and this and that. But at the end of the day, if you're making 90, 100 already, don't make your life about, I want to go work at FANG because I'm gonna get an extra $50,000. They're gonna squeeze that $50,000 out of you. That extra $50,000 is not gonna come in easy. Just from the interview process and the hell you got to go through to get in, you should already know what you're going to be getting and what you have to expect at the job. So yeah, $50,000 extra seems good, but it might not be as good as you might think. Especially after taxes, there's a certain amount of money you got to pay after a certain threshold. You know what I'm saying? So you go in and be like, man, we about to get $100,000, $150,000, shit, $200,000. These people are not walking around with $200,000 in their pocket. A lot of them don't even have $200,000 cash. So at the end of the day, it's like, why do you want to go through hell to get an extra $50,000? When in reality, you could go in and build your own apps, build your own software, right? Build your own business, create a digital product, create freelance on the side. You could get that $50,000 on a weekend. You know what I'm saying? Just a little weekend work, chill, without having to have all that stress. I'd rather work at a good company that treats their employees good than getting that extra $20,000, $30,000. It's not worth it. Shout out to everybody in here, man. Make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you leave some messages in the chat. I'll get to you, okay? Shamar says, could you look up about web administrator jobs? Yes, we could do that right now. Let's do it. Okay, let me put this right here. Web administrator. Now, again, I'm looking for remote jobs for this, but there's jobs for this in every state. Okay. Let's search for by title just to. So look at this. United Way of King County, Seattle, Washington, email and web administrator. Okay. So again, you're doing HTML emails, and you're also managing the website, which is ongoing maintenance of the WordPress website. Okay, so let me see. Where's the link? So this is the one. Okay. United Way, King County. All right, so there's a lot of opportunities out here. So this is actually built with good old WordPress. All right, so when you're wondering who hires for WordPress, there's a lot of companies that do that. Okay, so in here we have a web administrator, 1 day on site on Austin. This is pretty hybrid role. Texas, 1 day on site. So pretty much snappy hires, right? Just managing a website and using Drupal content management system. And you only got to go to the office once a week. Or, yeah, 1 day. It could be, maybe it's just 1 day out of the month, 1 day of the week. That's something that you will have to ask for. But yeah, there's a lot of web administrator roles out here. Look at this. Aerial partners, $80 to $95 an hour. Okay. So in here, let's see. Web administrator, similar roles. Experience scripting, PowerShell. Oh, this is a little bit more like IT. I don't know why they put as web administrator, but it is what it is. Let me see. Smart IMS. Right, so there's a lot of jobs. There's definitely a lot of jobs, right? So there's like 25 plus. Might not seem like a lot, and that's because we're looking for specifically web administrator, right? You could search for other keywords, web producer, okay? So web design, content producer, web producer, Blackstone Technology. Let me see in here, web producer, global web producer. Okay, that's in Adobe. Look at that. Good old Adobe in San Jose. Renee, you should pay attention to this one. This could be a good one. Okay. Look at this. Join Adobe as a web producer and work with some of the top digital teams. Take ownership of segments. Yeah, so this could be a good opportunity. There's a lot of jobs out here, guys. Again, you got to just look for the right keywords. This is why it's important. Like if I live right now, I live in San Jose, California. Okay. If I live in San Jose, California, this is what I would do. Right? I'm looking for a job. I'm going to go in and I'm going to say, search for HTML. This is what I am. I'm a web developer. I build things on the web. All right. So any type of job that is in this area that I could qualify for and I could apply to, that's what I'm going to do first. Okay. Every company wants to hire somebody locally more than anything. Right. So in here we have Milpitas, California. Again, Renee, there's another job. It just popped up. You better apply for this one. Okay. But look at this, $92,000 to $122,000 a year. Okay. So you're managing the content. You're working with email, right? So again, this is what I would do. I would search through HTML, look for all of the jobs that have been listed on this area. You have a software engineer. Let me see, front-end developer. Let me see. Front-end developer. Okay, see what else is out here. And as you can see, California pays a lot, man. You know, even like the most regular jobs that's out there, people will get paid, you know, a nice $55, $60, $70 an hour. I mean, Cali is expensive. But yeah, so you have full stack, right? Marketing coordinator, all right, junior backend engineer. Okay, let me see, content manager. Okay, this is again going back into, you know, web administrator. Okay, own day-to-day content management operation, tasks and support product launches, ensure the quality of your own deliverables, maintain understanding the complexities of CMS and other internal tools. Okay. Let me see, localization, managing content, global audience, experience working with Git client, Tower Source, Source Tree is a plus, knowledge of HTML, CSS. So look at this. Knowing Git is a plus. You know how there's a guy right now, he's like, yeah, bro, I'm learning Rust. I'm learning Golang right now. I'm learning this and that. And like they're going so deep into like software engineering, and then they don't have a job, right? And it's like a job like this, they could probably get with their eyes closed by just refactoring their portfolio, refactoring their resume, and going in and applying to it, because clearly they're qualified. But you know, this is the stuff that people miss out on. You know, people be like, well, I'm a software engineer. I only apply as a software engineer. That's stupid, right? You're somebody that solves problems with code, with programming, right? If an opportunity comes up as a software engineer, that's the title, and you get hired, hallelujah, you got a new job. But if that's not coming, pay attention to everything that's out here, because what you care about is taking care of yourself, right? Taking care of your family and having a baddie right next to you. That's it. If you have that, you're good. If not, then you're just out here looking sad. Now you're just a guy that's crying on TikTok talking about how difficult it is to find a job. It's like, bro, you're qualified for like 20 other 30 different jobs. Like the finding a job is not the issue. The problem is that you want a specific job. Okay? That's the issue, right? It's like a nurse, right, guys? You're a nurse, right? And you're like, man, I want to work with children. You're a nurse. You have a degree as a nurse. Guess what? You want to work with children, but right now there's no company hiring you or hospital or practice hiring you as a nurse for working with children. And right now you got to work with old people. Guess what? That's what you got to do if you want to make money. Sometimes you got to be realistic. Sometimes I'll be seeing people that is super qualified and they'll be like, man, I can't find a job. It's like, bro, you're overqualified for 70% of the industry. Why are you not applying to those jobs until you're able to get the next job? And there's no rule anywhere that is written in stone that says, hey, if I go in and I take this job that has a different job title, even though I'm doing web development, that this new job that I want to go to, this dream job that I want to work at, it's not going to hire me because I work here. That's bullshit. People will hire you off your work, your experience, and how qualified you are for the position. It's not that you worked at XYZ.com and now we're like, well, look at him. He worked at footlocker.com. Oh, he worked for Home Depot. Oh, you're one of those guys that work with Node.js at Walmart? No. No one's doing that. You understand that? No one's doing that. Because they understand that you're doing a job. As long as you're doing a good job there, right? And you have the skills for this new job position that you're coming to, you're going to get the job and get the new opportunity. So please don't be those type of people that miss out on opportunities like this. I mean, this is $50 to $68 an hour. Okay? $50 to $68 an hour for managing a website that's already done. Okay? This is the company, Hogarth or Hogarth, right? I don't know, right? Right, we're going to search. We're going to search with Google, right? Okay, let's see what this company is about. Okay, I've never heard of this company. So I wouldn't be surprised. This is, yeah, it's an agency. Look at this. Okay, I've never heard of this company. I'm going to add this to my list. Okay, I'm going to add this to my list. Right, so this is an agency that's hiring. Okay, to manage the content. They work with big brands. They work with Coca-Cola, Break the Roll, Heinz, right? So they work with a lot of different companies, right? Award-winning innovation studio, Interaction Tech, XD, okay, etc. Look at that. They work with Coca-Cola on the Marvel commercials, right? So let's go in here. Okay, let's look at the work. Okay, all of this. This is an agency. And they're looking for somebody to manage the content. Most likely is going to be content for, for their clients or maybe even for their own website. Okay. This is built on Drupal, by the way. Okay. So this big agency, their website, it's on Drupal. But what do I know? I'm just a random dude with a hat on. Okay. And look at this. This is actually in the UK. They're actually in the UK, this company. And let's see what other careers they're having here. Okay. So it's have copywriter, graphic productions, okay, content production manager. This is in Manila. So look, they have agencies in offices all over the world. This is a UK company. All right. Manila, Philippines. Shout out to my Filipinos. Okay. All right. So this is a production manager, right? So is in charge of making sure that it's like a project manager at a tech company, right? So look at this. They got a lot of jobs, a lot of opportunities there, of course, for different type of roles. Okay, QA engineer, right? Shout out to the Indians. You got a job here. They're looking for QA engineers. In Buenos Aires, they're looking for freelance web developer. Okay, this is in Argentina. So they have a lot of different roles. Look, Mexico, Shanghai, Japan. Then they need to get a better filtering system because we just imagine you trying to find a job. I mean, we do have the filtering system in here, but I'm like, damn, going in and just clicking more and more and more, that could be a little bit annoying, right? Especially the ways how this animation works. Like it's kind of annoying. I rather this thing was just done in a table instead of like loading it up and then then it loads more. Like I don't like that. The user experience of it sucks. But yeah, guys. So there's definitely a lot of opportunities out there for web administrators. Let me see. Reading through here. Looking forward to that email developer course with AI. Yes. Oh, sure. Shout out to my boy Henry. Henry was in here. I'm over here talking about Henry. I'm like, yeah, Henry, he works at his company, but he got a good team. He in here. Shout out to my guy. Okay. Let me see. Who else we got in here? Shout out to Billy Rodriguez. I'm still doing email development after 4 years. Word. You remember when you came in like 2020, bro? Shit. It's been a long time. Right? And this is the thing, man. We've done so many cool things. We've helped so many people out. And I'm not saying like I'm responsible for their success, right? People like Henry, Renee, Billy, right? Now Cesar is in the mix. Cesar Jaramillo, John De Lorenzo. Go into codingphase.com. Go check out the Hall of Fame. Go check out a lot of the stories that's in here, right? We've been able to help a lot of people get into the game, and I'm happy for that. I'm really am. I'm really happy that we were able to go in and help a lot of these individuals get into the game. Shout out to my boy Frederick Thomas. Frederick in the beginning was having a little hard time because he was working as a customer service for I think who was it that he was working for? I think Bank of America or something like that. I can't remember the exact job that he was working at, but he was basically doing customer service. And yeah, he had limited time, right? To basically go in and like learn the skills. You know how it is. You're an adult. You got shit to do, right? And you got to come home and spend an hour, 2 hours a day learning a skill, and then from there apply to the jobs, go to the interviews, right? So it wasn't easy, right? Even what he says here, right? He says, getting my foot in the door in the tech world has been a real roller coaster, but Joe has been by my side through it all, right? So just right there, that tells you he had a lot of ups and downs, okay? Because it is difficult. Just the process of having to go in, come home, learn a new skill. Then from there, now you're building your portfolio. Then from there, you're now applying to jobs and doing this and that, and then you go to an interview and you do the phone interview and then they don't call you back. Then you do another interview. They call you up. You do one interview for them. Then you do another one. You get to the last part and then you still don't get a job, right? All of that takes like 1 week. Every interview is like 1 week. They'll be like, hey, we'll set you up for the next week, for the next interview. Hey, can you do it next Monday, right? So it's like a waiting game. It's a process. Okay, and that's why you got to go in and apply to as many jobs as possible so you could have multiple interviews in a weekly basis. That way you'll get hired soon, right? But yeah, we've been able to help a lot of people, man. And I love seeing that, guys like Billy Rodriguez, we're talking about 4 years later, he's still an email developer, still killing it, taking care of himself, taking care of his family, doing what he got to do. You know what I'm saying? While there's people that been watching me for years, been watching me. I have people that have been watching me since like 2017, and they still haven't came to codingphase.com, right? They didn't come when I had it at $5. They didn't come when I had it at, $100, right? Limited time, right? They didn't come when now we have a 50% off. It's $45 a month, okay? You come into Coding Phase, right? Like I said, super affordable, right? And they just been watching me for years and years, but never take action. And you watching this right now, and you probably one of them too. You're like, yeah, man, Joe, you know me. I try to go the free route. You know me, Joe. I try to go to a boot camp. You know me, Joe. I try to shit. I'm about to go to get my bachelor's degree because that's gonna help me out for real, right? So you're still in the same boat, right? You're still doing the same shit. There's people that I know since 2017 that they're still in this space of like trying to learn how to learn how to code, learn how to get into the game, right? They've done everything but come to codingphase.com. And the cool thing is that we've gotten, real people. This is real people. This is not bots. This is not fiber actors. This is not AI generated images. This is real people that we've been able to come in and help them out. And, I take pride in that. I'm happy for that, because guess what? They were smart. They were smart, especially in that 2020, right? 2020, 2021 pandemic, right? Shout out to Kevin Mosley, right? Who became a software engineer and doing basically full stack development, Shopify development, right? Worked for some pretty big bands. Shout out to him. Saw an opportunity, right? Everyone was at home. A lot of people were either laid off or they were, getting paid to just sit their ass at home, getting $1,500 extra a month, getting a check. What did those people do with that money? Nothing, right? But some of you guys that came in, y'all took advantage. It's like right now, right? Like I told you guys, codingphase.com, 50% off, right? And I know people say, damn, Joe, you just here to promote your shit. No, I'm here to help people. Okay, the people that want the help. Of course, I create content. I still go in, answer questions. But at the same time, I'm here to help people, right? So when people are on the fence and they're wondering, can this help me out? Yes, as long as you do the work, you show up, right? Of course, I can't guarantee you, hey, you're going to get hired by this Monday. It doesn't work like that. There's guys that similar to like, Frederick, he had a little rough time in the beginning getting his first job. But once he decided to, hey, let me take this serious and really go hard, he got his job, right? Renee had a little, a little ups and downs in the beginning, right? There's a couple of guys, right? Henry, shout out to Henry Garrido. His journey was a little bit different. He got hired pretty, fairly quickly. But it's like I tell you, it's like if you don't show up, you miss out on the opportunity. Your opportunity might be of that day, of applying that day, showing up to that interview that day, right? And if you miss the opportunity, you might have to wait a month or two. That's just how life works, right? But it's about showing up every single day to the gym, okay, if you want to see results, okay? But like I was saying, there's people that came in, took advantage of that. Right now, we've never had the Diamond membership as affordable as this. And there's a reason why I'm doing this. Someone might say, damn, times is hard. Damn, Joe got this shit, $45. Damn, shit is hard. No. I'm doing this because this is like my last hurrah of like, hey guys, I'm not going to be teaching the way how I teach to you guys in the future, right? 2026, I'm not doing no more meetings for anybody that didn't sign up to codingphase.com 2025 previously. All this work that I've been able to do for people, answer the emails, give them the coaching, right? I've done that shit for dirt cheap. People charge thousands of dollars for this. I charge people $100. We're talking about a whole year for $182. This is crackhead prices, right? I do this because I want to help people. Now, I can't do it for free because everything that I have here in the services costs me money. Okay? But right now, this is like the craziest sale that we have right now. For the Diamond membership, everything that you're getting. The Diamond membership gives you access to the Tech Accelerator, which we sell for $2,000. So you could come in, pay $200, get the same service that somebody pays for $2,000. Now, in 2026, I'm not doing no more Diamond memberships. Whoever's in the Diamond membership, you are now a classic member. You are an OG, triple OG. you get to keep that price. You get to keep that service that you basically paying peanuts. Now, if you cancel, you got to pay the full bill, which is buying the tech accelerator. I'm not working with people no more past 2026 unless they purchase the program. I'm not doing meetings with them. I'm not hopping on the phone. I'm not giving my phone number so I could be your reference to a recruiter. I'm not doing that. I did this for all of these guys that came in and took advantage of it, which I've been saying to them. There's only so much that I could do. I'm not going to be able to do this for 20 years, right? And at this price, it don't make no sense when I know everyone else charges way more. You get what I'm saying? Shout out to my homegirl, Simone. I don't know if you know who Simone is, right? Simone makes a killing. She charges thousands of dollars for helping people get into, government tech jobs. Some of you guys know who I'm talking about. Some of you guys don't know, right? This is my homegirl. I follow her. She's pretty cool. I like, what she's been doing. But there's a reason why she does that. All of this shit takes a lot of work, right? You got to set up a team. You got to do a bunch of stuff. I went in and I did all of this stuff the majority of times by myself, so I don't have to hire more people. So I don't have to raise the price. I don't have to go in and have a bigger team to handle everything. I did everything myself. I'm not doing that for people in 2026. Whoever didn't sign up now, you missed out on it. Those guys like Billy Rodriguez, right, that came in, they got the full advantage of this, right? And took advantage of it. And as you can see, 4 years later, he's still making money in this game. What was his expense? I could go and pull up Billy Rodriguez's account and see how much in total he spent at TradingPhaseDotCom. I could tell you right now, he's made 10 times as much, probably even 20, 30, 40 times as much than what he actually spent on TradingPhase.com. So the return on investment was worth it. I know sometimes some people be like, whoa, $200. $200 is nothing for an investment for your future. No one else is going to do what we do at TradingPhase.com. And after I'm done in 2026, where it's like, that's it. I'm only working with 100 clients, 100 students a year. I'm fine with that. If I only work with 50 students a year, I'm fine with that. I'm not going to do all that work that I've done for everybody else. And I'm willing to do for you today when you come to TradingPhase.com and you sign up for that 50% off. I'm doing this because I want to go in and not leave anybody behind. Because I know what it is when you work a bullshit job. I know what it is when you're living paycheck to paycheck, right? I know what it is. So I'm here to help those people and get them into the game and put them in the right path, because I know it's just about learning a skill. They're willing to put in the work, right? So I never wanted to outprice them. If a guy right now is an Uber driver and he got he making $70,000, out of the $70,000 that he's making, he's actually keeping 35 and 40 because he got to put into account what he has to pay for his car, the gas, all that shit that he has to invest on. He leaving with like $35,000, $40,000. I've never wanted to outprice him. I want him to have this opportunity because no one else will do it for him. He can't afford to go in and say, let me go to a boot camp and get myself into debt. I'm already in debt with a car. Same thing with somebody that already going to school and already went to college, coming out to school, from school in debt. I wanted to make this affordable, right? And I've been able to do that. So I take pride in all the students that have been able to kill it over the years, right? But we won't be able to do that no more. I can't do that no more for people past this year. And I'm going to continue giving you guys this little speech at the end of every live stream because I want to put this in your back in your mind. This is the moment that you're going to go in and you're going to say, damn, I should have came to Coding Phase at this time, because I'm not doing the work that I do for everyone right now currently, unless you purchase the 2000 dollars tech accelerator program. It doesn't make sense for me to do that no more. I'm not gonna work with thousands of students to go in and try to help every single person. I'd rather go in, simplify my life, make it easier for me, and just work with the current students at CodingPhase.com who are active members. And then from there, the new members, they already purchased the program. And I give them all the courses, I give them all the services, give them everything for that $2,000. Okay? The lifetime value of a student at CodingPhase.com is around 2 to 3 years, right? So at the end of the day, what I'm doing with that is I'm saying, hey, guess what? If you was gonna stay here for a year, 2 years, let's go in and we're gonna basically give you all the courses, and you have access to everything forever. And whatever courses we add to the platform, except the profitable developer course. Okay, the profitable developer course is a separate product, and same thing with the trading phase course. It has nothing to do with coding or getting a job. Okay, but other than that, everything is in there, right? So take advantage, right? Because I really want to help you guys out. If you need my help, you've been wanting to get into the game, come through, okay? This is your moment because, again, what you rather pay? You rather pay $200, right? $183 for a whole year's worth. And then if you continue to work with me, the following year is $183, right? Guess what? Now you got your second job, your third job. I'm helping you with your process of building your own side income, building your business for $183. That's less than a gym membership. Okay? So you're talking about 50 cents a day. Now, again, I do this, like I said, I want to help people out before I do what I will say my final goodbyes to trying to help everyone. I can't help everybody. That's one thing that I realized over time. I can't help everybody. I'm spreading myself too thin. So for that, I'd rather just go in, continue to help the people that's already members of CodingPhase.com, and then from there, a small amount of new members. That way it gives me more time for myself, more time for my family, more time for building my other businesses and doing what I have to do. You get what I'm saying? But again, we want to continue working and helping people out, but we just got to go in and charge what we supposed to charge, because there's no reason that, I'm working, doing all this stuff. People make thousands of dollars, right? And we leaving out of here with $50, $150, and a person goes in and makes $100,000. You know what I'm saying? It don't connect. You know what I'm saying? So it's better to go in and work with a small amount of students and be able to solve their problems than having thousands of students, and you can't be more personal with them as much as you like, because you have to solve the problem for everybody else, answer everybody's emails, etc. Right? So take advantage. Okay, that's just a little heads up. Okay, reading through here. Yes, it costs to live out there in Cali. Yes, Cali's crazy. Yes, it's better to work remote in another state and get a Cali pay. Yep. How you doing today? What do you think of Front-End Mentor? I thought they have some cool projects to build. You don't need Front-End Mentor, bro. Like, I'll be honest with you. You don't need it. It seems like a cool idea. I mean, I don't know the owners who owns it. I'm pretty sure it's like another YouTuber, influencer there. But I'll be honest, that's not even a good business model. I don't know how people will pay for that, because technically, like, and I'm not throwing no shade to them or anything. It's great that they found some type of way to make income, but I just don't think that if I want to build projects, that I will pay to get designs for a project. It just doesn't make sense for me, because what I'm doing is I want to go in and I want to build real websites. I could go to a real website and recreate that same website for free. There's zero value to it, like, to me, right? So, for example, like if I want to go in and say, hey, I want to build a restaurant website, I just come to themeforest.net, come over here, search restaurant, and I could see all of the different designs, all of the different websites that's out there that's being sold to real restaurant owners, right? Real agencies, and they're building this into, restaurants or restaurant websites for them. Okay? This doesn't cost you anything at all. And I know I get it. Sometimes I'll be like, even I'll be like, damn, people are so cheap. But it's just, it has to bring value. When you pay for something, it has to bring value. A value that you can't get anywhere else. Okay? Like, again, to bring it back to Coding Phase, right? Why does it make sense for someone to pay for Coding Phase? There isn't a platform out here that will have somebody do meetings with you, that will go in and do research for the jobs that's available, will search for jobs for you, give you a list of the jobs that you should be applying to, helps you with your portfolio, helps you with the projects that you should be building, that's constantly applying to job himself. I'm constantly applying to jobs. Like for research, like for example, I go in and search email developer, right? Most of these jobs I've already applied to, right? Let me see if I find one. Where is it? Yeah, most of the jobs I applied to. Why do I apply to? One, to test out the resume that we have on the resume builder that we have on entryleveljobs.ai. So that way I know if my students are getting through. I also go in and apply to the job to see what's the likelihood of someone actually applying to this job and getting some type of response, right? And what I do is I test it out with a simple portfolio, a simple resume, a simple, projects, similar to what a beginner will have, and to see if they're going to be able to get some feedback or get someone to call them or get an interview, right? Who's going to do that? Right? No one does that shit. People go and create a course and say, hey, here's $20 and good luck, go learn, right? I'm the only one that does that. I haven't seen nobody else that does that, okay? So the value that you're getting, right, when you are coming to Coding Phase is worth it because you're getting something out of it that you wouldn't get anywhere else. The courses, right, like let's say, for example, there isn't an email developer course better than the Coding Phase course, period. There isn't a better Shopify developer course than the one that is on Coding Phase, right? Then on top of that, the jobs that we focus on and the way how we teach it, no one teaches it like that. So when you come in, you getting a fucking bundle. You getting like, damn, this shit is worth it. When I go to Front End Mentor and I look at that, I'm like, okay, you guys gonna give me the designs? When I could get the designs from any website? Okay. Now again, that's just me putting two and two together. Again, I have nothing against them. I'm just looking at it of the value, right? What value am I gonna get out of going to Front End Mentor? When in reality, this is something that's free. I'm not getting a coach. I'm not getting someone helping me out directly. I don't know if they have courses. I don't think so. The whole thing is you get some challenges and you have that's it. I don't see nothing else. I mean, maybe now they changed it, but from what it was just pretty much a design. Hey, we'll give you the design and we'll give you the challenges. That's not, to me, I'm like, I wouldn't spend money on that because it's free. I could go to any website. That's like when somebody comes in and tells me, hey man, I'm gonna sell you a hero section. Now, a hero section for your website, like the design of it, let's just say, and someone thinks of that as a digital product. And someone could go in and purchase that, but someone that doesn't know how to code. right? You could go in and sell that to that person. But if you know how to code, what's stopping you from going to a website and just building what's there on the website? Nothing. No one could sue you. No one could go in and go, oh, you build exactly a hamburger menu just like mine. No, that's not copywritten. That's not trademarked. It's something that you could literally go in and build yourself. Same thing with any design that's on ThemeForest. What you can't do is use it for commercial use, and you cannot sell it. But that you could go in, use it as inspiration, 100%. As long as you do the code. You could even go in and go to a ThemeForest website or a freaking template. Look at what they have. Pretty much copy everything that's in there. Change the colors. Change a couple of things in there. Change the way the sections are set up. And ta-da, you could go in and have that as a personal project. You could even have that for a client. You get what I'm saying? Because there's nothing that's stopping you from actually doing that. Like I could go in, look at this, right? Let's say this website, it's a nice website, right? And I could build a website similar to this with similar sections, but instead for a restaurant, I will go in and build it for a law firm. I like the layout. I like the way how this thing is done, right? I like the way how this animation of the video comes up, right? The video pops up in the background. How things pop up from the testimonials. I could build that. And I could reuse that same code, right? As long as I'm building it myself and I'm doing it for a different industry. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. So that's, when you ask me about front-end mentor, that's the thing that I just don't see the value in it. Now, if they have some other stuff to it, I don't know. But when they first came out, it was just like the designs. It's like, I wouldn't pay for that because I could do that on my own. It's free. You know what I'm saying? It's literally free. And you might say, well, all courses are free nowadays. There's a bunch of people that just put YouTube tutorials online. Yes and no, right? Because can they teach? That's the problem. You could be a great developer, but can you actually teach it to somebody so they could understand it and they don't feel lost, right? Are you doing meetings with them? Are you actually communicating with somebody? That's where the value is right now. The value is not in taking a course. And that's why, I basically been doing this with TradingPhaseDotCom for so many years. The value is not on the course. You could watch a YouTube tutorial. The value is having a mentor, having somebody that actually goes in, looks at your work, helps you find a job. That's the value. That's what people should be paying for nowadays. Having a real person. Shout out to I Do Ray. Says Joe is a wealth of knowledge. Nah, I'm just a regular dude. I'm a random dude with a hat on. I'm a random dude with a hat on, bro. Ain't nothing special about me. I just know a few little things, just over the years, picking it up, as a developer. Mac Dude says, trying to get that YouTube coding badge for free. I don't know about showing up to the gym every day for results. I'll burn myself out. Yeah, but you could go to the gym and do light work. Maybe one day it's just, hey, I'm gonna do the treadmill and just work. Like walk. Matter of fact, right? You don't have to go in there and be like, yo, I'm a savage. I'm trying to fucking go mad hard, right? Even when you're learning how to code, you don't have to like code every single day. You could take a day off where you're just doing research. You count that as a day of you working, working towards your goals, right? Like for example, if I go in and I'm learning, I don't know, let's say, Shopify development. Okay. Maybe what I'll do is that day, instead of me coding, right, and I want to take like a day off, I'll go in and listen to a podcast about Shopify so I could know what the ecosystem is. So I could know what it is, right? The research part is very important. Maybe go through the documentation, just look at it. Take a look at it and just, you're not coding anything, you're just going through it. That's part of it, you know. So you don't have to go in and be like, hey, I'm coding every single day, 10 hours a day. No, you don't have to do that. There's other things and other ways that you could go and put in the time where it's like light work, you know. Shout out to the homie Wes Boss, right? They have the Syntax FM podcast, right? That I will consider as working towards your goals, right? If you want to become a developer. So, for example, like if I'm like super like busy, right? And I'm like, man, I don't think I'm gonna be able to code today. I'll go in and listen to a podcast on what's happening in the industry. And I consider that, hey, I put in some work today. Okay? So, and this is a great podcast. They've been doing it for so long. Like, it's crazy, Shout out to them. They've been doing, I think, like, they got what, episode 900 and something, 915? Like, that's a lot of episodes, right? And, yeah, it's a great podcast. And I could consider that, it's like going to a walk in the park, right? If you want to work out, you don't have to go to the gym. But, hey, take a walk in the park. Listen to a podcast. Come to Coding Phase. Watch a YouTube video that we have here, right? That could be considered part of it. Casey Me says, how long do the discount last for? It's a summer sale, okay? You have all of this month to go in and take advantage, okay? Magdu says, do we get anything special for still being a gold member? For being a gold member, hey, I appreciate it, But the thing is that the diamond membership comes with a bunch of extra features that and services that cost me money, right? The gold membership gives you access to, the entry level position courses, right? And that's still a great deal. You're getting like 30 courses for, $20. There's people paying $5 as a as a freaking diamond member, not diamond, gold member. They're paying $5. You get what I'm saying? So, take advantage of that, right? Like, if you still haven't gone through the courses, go through it, right? But I appreciate it being a gold member. But, everything that I charge, it's not because I'm like, hey, I want to make more money. No, it's because it costs me more money to provide those services. It's not like I'm like, if it was up to me, I'd just keep everything at $10. My goal was like, and this is like one of the only thing that I feel like I failed in Coding Phase, right? So my goal was to make Coding Phase, right, super accessible, right? Start with $5, right? And then at some point, go in, let's say if I would have grown so much on YouTube and become like, a bigger, I guess, influencer, you would say, or YouTuber or business owner, whatever you want to call it, right? That I will go in and make it $1. So give all the services, everything, all the courses just for $1 a month. Super affordable, right? That was my goal. But how was I gonna be able to do that? Very simple. If we was able to get a million members. Now, for $1, everybody pays $1. So we still make $1 million. We still be able to have a team, be able to go in and provide all the services, create more courses, create all the stuff that we do on Coding Phase. But guess what? It didn't work out like that. Okay? It didn't work out like that because I didn't want to be like an influencer and continue to grow and all that stuff that in the beginning I thought I would want to do, right? I realized that I don't want to be working with everybody. I want to work with people who want to work with me. You know what I'm saying? And even now, like how I'm doing for 2026, I know that some people is gonna get left behind. But like, damn man, I'm priced out. I can't pay $2,000. We still gonna have the payment plan. You could pay $100 a month, right? But at the end of the day, it's like that also filters out the bullshitters. You know, same way how we've had people come in and have had success, there's also been a lot of bullshitters too that have came in and just don't do the work, don't show up to the meetings, don't actually send their portfolio projects, don't go in. You know, we used to have a JavaScript meeting, we used to have a HTML, CSS, which later we made it into tech support. Shout out to Karen, right? And guess what? I pay for all of those services, and people was not even showing up. Not because they're not good, it's just people are fucking lazy. So if I'm gonna go in and dedicate my life and put so much time into this, I want to do it for the people that's willing to do the work. Guess what? You came to Coding Phase, you paid $2,000 for the Tech Accelerator. You're gonna do the work. The majority of people, I will say probably a 95% of the people that have purchased the Tech Accelerator program before I merged it to the Diamond membership, they have completed all the courses. What's the difference of someone paying $2,000 and somebody coming in and paying $45, $50? They already understand that they ain't come here to play. They want to get this shit done. They want to get the work done. It's an investment. But if you don't do the work, you can't get no returns on that investment. So, you know, at the end of the day, that's what I realized. I'm like, okay, when I had the $5 special, it just brought everybody. We had like 14,000 members, and it was great. It was cool because it's like, oh, shoot, we're making, you know, calculate $5 times 14, right? And it seems cool, but the amount of work that it takes to maintain that wasn't worth it. Went in, we filter it out. We said, hey, man, we doing $20. That cut out all the people that was like, oh, I just signed up because it was $5. Cool, that cut them out. There's a lot of people that, you know, they'll sign up because it's $5. It's like, this is so fucking cheap. I don't care, it's $5. But I'm not doing it just for me to get your $5. I'm doing it to actually get you results. Because then what happens is you are a bullshitter, right? You don't do any of the work. You don't ask any questions. You don't show up to any meetings. And then now you're in a comment section on some Reddit post talking shit about my platform or whatever I fucking do. And I'm like, no, you pay $5. You never did any of the courses. You never done anything on Coding Phase. So, you get what I'm saying? So I learned over time is you got to start filtering those people out, phasing them out. They're not willing to go in and invest in themselves. Phase them out. And some of them, the ones that are willing to invest in themselves, then they're not willing to do the work it takes. So you phase them out, right? And then now you have quality of students in the platform. You know, because believe it or not, this is a big decision that I made when I jumped into Coding Phase. I'm taking the responsibility of helping people, and that if they're paying for something, I gotta deliver on the results. This is not like a boot camp that, hey, you pay for them to show you something. I care about the student, right? That's why I keep it personal. When you go in, you book a call, I call you myself. I'm not having some random person go in and talk to you. I'm going in and talking to you, seeing your situation, because you're trusting me. You're not trusting, hey, I just want to learn how to coach. You coming to me because you're trusting me. So I have to make sure that you're good. But now I also have to make sure that you're not a bullshitter either. Like you're not coming in and be like, well, yeah, man, I'm signing up right now. And then 2 months later, you didn't really show up to anything. And then now you're in a fucking, in a comment section somewhere. And you're like, yeah, man, it wasn't good. It's like, you didn't do none of the work. You know, for privacy purposes, I wish, you know, because I wouldn't want to get sued, but I wish I could go in and start pulling out fucking people's receipts and be like, yo, this guy came in one time. This girl came in, showed up to one meeting, didn't do any work. This guy came in, excited the first week. The following week, showed up a little bit. And then from there, I've never seen them 6 months later. So for me, if I'm gonna dedicate my life to this and still help people out, we're gonna go in and make sure now it's quality students too. Same way how I'm trying to keep my quality up and doing all the work that I have to do. Now I gotta go in and say, hey, only people that's gonna do the work, that's gonna come in, get this shit done, and that's how I want it for 2026. If I'm gonna invest my 2 hours out of my Mondays every single Monday, and if I'm gonna invest 2-3 hours out of my mornings answering emails and helping people out, giving them the resources, or giving my phone number to people so they could give it to a recruiter, right? Unless you signed up previously to 2026, all new members that come to TradingPhaseDotCom have to come in and be vetted too. And that's how you're gonna get vetted. Are you willing to go in and take this shit serious? Because if I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna spend 6 months on you, I gotta get paid for my time, and I have to make sure that you're not here to show up for 1 month and then you're out of here. I don't want to waste my time with people like that. You know what I'm saying? My time is valuable, just like your time is. So it's just, it's not personal. It's just that's how it is. But yeah, the $5 special it's a great run. Let me see. Casey says, I've been looking for about a year and a half. Nothing like this. Yes, there isn't. There isn't a platform like Coding Phase right now, man. Shout out to Cam Perry. Research is underrated. Yes. Sometimes people think like if you're not coding, like click-clacking on a keyboard, that you're not doing work. But the research is more important than anything else. So yeah, man. Guys, listen, I'm about to get out of here. It was pretty cool hanging out with you guys. Hopefully you guys have a good day. We'll stay in contact. I'll be here tomorrow. We got a date tomorrow. I'm coming early at 12 o'clock. I feel like I need to start getting back in the zone of like doing it at 12 p.m. like how I used to. But yeah, man, I'll see you guys later. All right. Check out the links in the description. Like I said, guys, take advantage. Links in the description, right? You paying crackhead prices monthly, $45, right? Super affordable. Pay yearly, you have $183. It comes with the whole program, right? You could come in, take access, get access to everything that we have, okay? Take advantage. And also, too, it guarantees that you are a legacy member, right? So you could always have access to TradingPhaseDotCom at the price that you came in and you signed up previous to 2026. All right. I'll see you guys later. It's your boy Joe back at it again. TradingPhaseDotCom. Take care. Peace.